So let's discuss it. Italy losing on PKs to Germany, and they can hold their heads up high and depart with a very, very good tourney at this Euro in France. But let's discuss what's next for Italy. This was a squad that had a lot of older guys and many that will not return for World Cup qualifying beginning in September. Barzagli, we know that is up there in years, and there's many others. Buffon, there's been questions if he continues on. What's your thoughts? What's next for Italy?
But first of all, I think that, as you have said, we have only to thank this team, because they've done a very good job. I think no one could expect Italy should have done any Euro 2016 like this, and nothing to blame to the players, even if they lost on the penalties. And in Italy, there has been very, very much chat about Zaza and Pelé and their penalties throw so badly, but we know that penalties are always very strange things that cannot follow any rule, only luck. For the future of Italy is just a white page, because a new trainer, Giampiero Ventura, that is a very experienced trainer, even if he hasn't trained the top teams, never. He has trained a lot of teams, and in Italy we are very curious to see him, because with Conte we had experienced an important, you can say a top manager, a top coach. Now we are back to the ages when Italy used to take a coach for the national team that were not so important, but maybe there were coaches that have some particular ideas of football. I think that Ventura, for example, is a man that often works with young players. I think that, and this is the key, I think, to understand the future of Italy. I think that Italy will use new players, a lot of new players, for the qualification for the next World Cup.
The biggest issue for Antonio Conte, and he said it time and time again, and the problem that Italy has had, Emanuele, has been a lack of young players coming up and really taking a stand and saying to the national team coach, you must select me, I'm ready. That has not happened. We saw Di Scellio really have a tremendous Euro, a good Euro, and he's very young, and that is a positive sign. Are there younger guys that are ready? Berardi, is he ready? Maybe Donnarumma, is he ready? There's so many others. Will they be given an opportunity?
I think so. I think that is the moment, for example, you mentioned for players like Berardi. I think he deserves to play in the national team. But I think there are many other people, for example, Cataldi, that plays with Lazio, but even players like Pellegrini, like Donnarumma. I think that now is the moment to bet on some young players, on some young talent. I think you have 2 years to work on them, because the World Cup is in 2018. It's true that the qualification will start soon, but the project has to be seen in 2 years. So you have the time to make them play some match with the national team, to gain some experience with the national team, and to be ready to take part in a competition so important. Because I think that all the old school of Italy now has become very old, and I think that they will not play. Many of these players will not play anymore with the national team. You have mentioned Barzagli, but I think that even some other players in these 2 years will stop playing. About Gigi Buffon, for what I know, he will keep on playing with the national team, even in the next World Cup. This is the thing that he is saying in these days, but who knows? We are sure that if Gigi Buffon will decide to stop, there are other good goalkeepers. For example, you have mentioned Donnarumma, that is a very interesting talent, very, very young, very, very young. It looks like the first Buffon, the young Buffon, and we hope that Italy have a good future because they deserve to win something again because I mean when we eliminated the Spain in Italy, we had the hope of winning the Euro Cup, but that penalties have left we with some bitter in our mouth.
Emanuele, you mentioned Spain. Let's go back to something you said, that you had mentioned that time could be given to some of these youngsters if they were given the opportunity to play for the national team. Berardi, Donnarumma, Cataldi, on and on. My concern is with World Cup qualifying beginning and Spain in their group and Spain with a sour taste in their mouth from the Euro loss. There's not too much time to really give a lot of these youngsters. They have to be ready, they have to be alert, and they have to be focused because not only Spain, but off the top of my head, I can't remember, there's a third nation that is also a tough nation that they have to go against to get those top two spots.
It won't be easy, of course. It won't be easy because even Spain, it's in a moment in which they have to change something. They have to start a new era, we can say, because the elimination was very, very bad for them. I think that they didn't expect to be eliminated in the round of 16. You have said there is not many time, but I think that if you don't try to make something new, to bid on young players, you will never do it. So you have to be a bit brave to do this. For what I know, for example, Ventura is intention to call from the first call up that will be in a friendly against France. He will call, I think, someone like Donnarumma, will call Romagnoli, Rugani, and even some player that is not so young, but is a new player for national team, like Zappacosta or Benasser Basel, that have been called by Antonio Conte, but didn't have a chance still to play and to show their qualities. I am optimistic. I think that Italy could do very well because I think that the new Pirlo, the new Totti, the new Baggio have to be are here. I think that we can work on them and create our new talents, our new world talents.
Well said. Before we let you go, let's talk about Antonio Conte. For me, it was a real revelation to see him dissect Spain, dissect Sweden and Belgium. And I got to tell you, 95%, I think he did absolutely fantastic and terrific. The 5% that to me still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, let's go to the Germany game where he puts in Zaza cold. His feet don't touch a ball at all, and then he goes in to take a PK. That's one. I'd like your thought on that. El Shaarawy barely saw any minutes at all. Immobile hardly saw any time. These are guys that didn't say very much after they exited, and I'm surprised. I thought these guys would be tremendously upset at the lack of playing time. Your thoughts?
I don't feel... yes, okay. Antonio Conte, I think, has been the real protagonist of this adventure of Italy. Is one of the main actor of this very good expedition in France. So I don't feel to throw back in his face anything, because I think he has done his best, especially to motivate the team. Because in Italy there was a feeling when the competition started that we were not so a good team as we have been in the past. A lot of newspapers wrote that this was the worst Italian team since a long time. So what the very important job that he has done is to motivate this team, to let the players give the 100 and more than 100% for him and for the country. So I don't want to blame him. Yes, of course, I think that the match against Spain and the match against Germany, he plays a very different way, in a very different approach. But I think it was good because against Spain, you have to impose your way of playing, just not to be put down by them, because they use a lot to take the ball and to keep the ball. So if you are not aggressive, you won't see the ball. Against Germany, it was a harder match, and he has played the best. Of course, he should have used maybe more players like Sharawi, especially in the last minutes, maybe of the overtimes, of course. But I want to believe that if he hadn't done, I think he had his reasons. Maybe they weren't in good shape, or he wants to point on players that look like more motivated in his eyes. So I think he has done well, even if we were eliminated. Because if Pelé had scored that penalty, now we would have been here saying he was a hero, Antonio Conte was perfect. So football is like this.
Absolutely. Listen, just before we let you go, we know that you're real busy on the transfer market.
Yeah.
What is the hot news today? Where can people read all your great stuff and follow you on Twitter? But today, as of today, what is the hot news that people can really grasp on? What's out there that people need to know?
I think that the very important news today is that Arsenal have decided to take a very important striker. So with the names of Lacazette that we already knew, I think that Arsenal are ready to make a very important bid for Alvaro Morata to Real Madrid.
Unbelievable. That is unbelievable news. You have been on top of it. You've done great work on the transfer market. A lot of people here in Toronto and in Canada follow you. They enjoy your work. So we really thank you so much for staying up in the wee hours of the morning. God bless you. And we'll get you on again as the transfer market continues. Emanuele, thank you so much for taking time, my friend.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you.